Now let's take up the different kinds of mastermind alliances that you may have. First of all, there are alliances for purely social or personal reasons, consisting of one's relatives, friends, and religious advisors, where no material gain is sought. The most important of this type is the mastermind alliance which may exist between a man and his wife. I couldn't emphasize, if I were brilliant and if I had the great magnetic powers, I couldn't overemphasize the importance to you who are married of going to work immediately and rededicating that marriage to a mastermind alliance based upon this lesson tonight. It'll bring joys into your life that you never dreamed of. It'll bring success into your life that you never dreamed of. It'll bring health into your life that you never dreamed of. It's a perfectly marvelous thing when the real mastermind alliance exists between a man and his wife. I don't know of anything that equals it. And then there are alliances for business or professional advancement, consisting of individuals who have a personal motive of a material or a financial nature connected with the object of their alliances. Now, I imagine that the majority of you who are in this class now will be forming your first mastermind alliances for purely economic or financial advancement purposes. And that's perfectly legitimate. That's one of the reasons why you're taking this course. You want to improve your economic and financial condition. And you should start in immediately now to form a mastermind alliance for that purpose. And if you only can find to begin with one person, that's all right. Start out with one. And then look around until the two of you select another one. Now, you can't select another one, but the two of you. When you go to select the third party, be sure that the second one that you've already selected is in accord. You understand that? That's important. And then when you go to select the fourth, the three of you then will pass on the fourth. And you'll go over the matter very carefully before you make him a member of the alliance. And then when you go to select the fifth, the four of you will select the fifth. You see, in a mastermind alliance, there's no such thing as one person dominating, except in this respect that, generally speaking, one person is the leader. He's the coordinator and the leader. But he in no way undertakes to dominate his associates. Because the very moment you start to dominate anybody, you find resistance and rebellion. Even though it's not open rebellion, it's rebellion nevertheless. And in the mastermind alliance, it must be one continuous spirit of perfect harmony where you move and act as if you were only one mind. The American system of free enterprise is another example of efficiency through the mastermind principle. This system is the envy of the world because it has raised the standard of living of the American people to an all-time high level. And that despite the fact that there's not perfect harmony. But there is motive to the American system of free enterprise to inspire every individual to do his best. There is a motive there. And incidentally, more and more industry and business is coming to understand that they can go a step further, and instead of just having cooperation or coordination of effort between management and the workers, that they can have the mastermind principle by sharing management problems, by sharing profits, by sharing everything. And wherever I have been successful in influencing any business to adopt that policy, the business has made more money than it's ever made before, and the employees have received more wages, and everybody's happy. General instructions for the forming and the maintenance of a mastermind alliance. First, adopt a definite purpose as an objective to be attained by the alliance, choosing individual members whose education, experience, and influence are such as to make them of the greatest value in achieving the purpose. A lot of times I'm asked by students, what is the most favorable number for a mastermind alliance? And how do you go about selecting the right sort of people for your mastermind alliance? And the nearest answer that I can give you that is that the procedure is exactly the same as if you were starting into a business and you were choosing employees. What kind of an employee would you choose? Marvelous. I see the sparks flying. Wonderful. Wonderful. Dependability at the top of the list. If a person is not dependable, I don't want any part of him in a business transaction. No part of him, no matter how brilliant he may be, no matter how well educated he may be, the more educated he is, the more dangerous he may be if he's not dependable. And if he's not loyal, I would say the same thing. If an individual is not loyalty to those to whom he owes loyalty, then to me he has no character whatsoever, and I want no part of him. Dependability and loyalty, and then after that comes what? Ability to do the job. Ability. Look, notice where I place ability, down at third place. I'm not interested in a man's ability until I find out whether he's dependable and whether he is loyal. And then what would you say came after that in my category, in my book of rules? Number 4, positive mental attitude, of course. What good is a negative wet blanket around you? Why, you could pay him to stay away and then be ahead of the game. And number 5, what would that be?
Definitely.
Going the extra mile. That is right. And number 6,
Definitely.
what would you say that is?
Faith.
Applied faith. Now let me tell you, when you find people that come up to all of those 6 traits, I want to tell you, you've really found somebody. You're in the presence of royalty. Some businesses, if you're only running a peanut stand or 2, you maybe need only 1 person. But if you're running a chain of peanut stands, you might need 100 persons. And then as to the qualifications of a mastermind ally, first of all, take those 6 points that I gave you, and there are the qualifications. There are the qualifications for your mastermind. There must be dependability. There must be loyalty. Must be ability. Must be positive mental attitude. Must be willing to go the extra mile. Applied faith. Now there you are. If you want to know what the qualifications of your mastermind allies are, there it is. And don't settle for anything less. If you find a man that has 5 of those qualities and doesn't have all 6 of them, you better beware of him before you start. Because they're all essential in a mastermind relationship. You can check very carefully and see that that's true. You couldn't have perfect harmony unless you were working with somebody who checked 100% on all of those 6 points. You just couldn't have a mastermind alliance. You might have a working arrangement like so many people do, but it wouldn't embrace all of the potential values of the mastermind. Next, determine what appropriate benefit each member may receive in return for his cooperation in this alliance. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, nobody ever does anything for nothing. No, they never do. You say when you give love to somebody, you don't get anything out of that? You don't do that for nothing? Well, let me tell you something. You get plenty out of that. Because to have had the privilege of loving is a great privilege. And even though the love is not returned, you still have had the benefits of that state of mind known as love. And you've enjoyed the development and growth as a result of it. No, there's no such thing as something for nothing. Nobody works without some sort of a compensation. There are very many different forms of compensation. So don't expect that your mastermind allies are going to jump in and help you make a fortune or help you do anything unless they are equally participating in the benefits that come out of that mastermind alliance. Now there's the criterion by which you go. They must each individual must approximately benefit equally with yourself, whether it's a monetary benefit or a happiness or peace of mind benefit, a social benefit, or whatever it happens to be.